Here's something I wanted to get my hands on for a long time now. I have it on a time grapher, looking at the parameters here. Let's see. The beat error, not so bad. It's got good amplitude. The 60 seconds plus, we could fix that easily enough. But this is dialed down, so forgive my shakiness. I'm using the microscope handheld. That's dialed down, and I'm sure everybody knows right now what that is. So we're going to turn that and go dial up. And we're going to see what happens to our time grapher. Right away it starts speeding up. And our lines are getting a little wacky. They're getting strange. They're starting to not run parallel anymore. Our beat error is changing and the amplitude hasn't changed much. However, it is dropping. So I'm going to stop the machine and start it back up, and that'll give us a true indication of the amplitude. And our beat error has changed once again. Our rate got better, but look at our amplitude. It's dropped to 187 degrees. Yikes! This thing runs great when it's dialed down, but dial up, not so good. You might think the rate is pretty good at plus 5 seconds, but it's hardly consistent. That amplitude has me worried. So let's go back, dial up. Oh, I'm sorry, dial down. We're going to shut it off and reset it. And we're going to see how quickly it recovers. Again, it's a little shaky because I'm handheld here. I don't have this mounted up. Back to 317 degrees. I'm suspecting we have a wore out staff or a broken staff on the balance. And if you look at that balance, it's got a little wobble to it. This is in fact a Seconda 3017. We have a wore out or a broken staff. So we're going to dig into this and just take it apart to that point. I'm going to put the microscope back in its holder for now while I get things set up. There's our setup basically was the time grapher and what's going on. Now things will be a little more steady. And let's zoom in here. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at this. I never had one of these. And every time I go to bid on one, I get outbid, or I'm a little nervous about it because it might be a Franken, who knows, might be a redial. But this is stunning. These are quite nice. This one is quite nice, but the color, the design, I don't know if you can see, but the subdials, those second hand clicking away, is actually curved upwards to match the contour of the dial. Very nice, very slick. This is one beautiful watch. Just a gorgeous piece. I'd love to get my hands on one of these one day, someday. But I'm lucky enough to service one for this gentleman. I'll put in the post on who it's from. Here's a look at the movement. Incidentally, it winds beautifully, sets the time beautifully. The buttons, the pushers, actuate everything nice and slick and smooth. Really a gorgeous piece, inside and out. As it's running, you can see that hairspring bouncing around. That thing's winding up and letting go. And if you look at that top jewel, it's got a little, I don't know, what do you got there? War wounds? Damage marks? I don't know what you would call that. So this has been apart at one time. Perhaps somebody tried to fix this. So you can see that balance is quite wobbly. We're going to dig into this just to that point because everything else works fine, especially when it's dialed down. Let's find out what's going on. Is it broke? Is it wore out? And if it is, I'll contact the owner and say, well, this is what I found. Let's get a part coming, and then we'll do a complete service on this. So, I think I want to let down the mainspring just because, and that's easily accessible. See if I can get that in the shot. The click is right underneath that lever, and I can get in there and take a heavy oiler to it, hold the click out of the way, and there you go. I can let down that mainspring, and then the balance should be coming to a stop any minute now. There you go. Let's get a look at how loose that is actually. Tweezers, here we go. We're going to check the end play. That might be a little excessive, that amount of end play. That seems a little excessive, so I'm suspecting something is wore out or broken. I'll let when I do a posting, I'll have the owner, I think it's Particle Man. Is this the guy that sent it? I did get your letter, thank you, along with the watch. I just got a scatterbrain right now because I really wanted to dig into this. This thing is just gorgeous, beautiful, a stunning piece. I really got to dime up and get one of these. Okay, let's get in here. Okay, out it comes. I'm going to move this aside for now. Let's take a look at how everything's looking in here. That looks pretty good. Nothing out of the ordinary. Got some end shake on the pallet fork, feels good. Very nice. Can't say enough about these. These are just gorgeous. So, how does our balance look? I have it out of the shot right now, so I can get a close look at it. Let's get in tight. So we got it turned over. We're going to bring it in. How does this one end of the staff look? Let's focus. Can't really tell from there, so I'm going to have to pick this up and have a look. I'm not going to take the balance off the bridge. Okay. Well, that would explain why it runs so good dialed down, because it's resting on that staff, that pin there, the axle. That looks pretty good. I'm going to take it out of the shot, have a look with a loop, and see what we have. I'm going to need 2 tweezers here. I'm still here, don't worry. I'm just trying to get a look at this. Unfortunately, I can't see much in terms of what that balance staff is looking like. So, here's what we got to do. going to come here. We're going to take it out and have a look, get a better look at that. Okay. The indexer is slotted right there. And we're going to move that out of the way. Hopefully I can do this in the shot. If not, I'm just going to pull it out of the shot, because you got to get in here pretty tight and see what's doing and get a blade in there. Okay, now we're back in the shot and I'll show you what I did. You can see that indexer has turned. I turned it 90 degrees. The indexer is this little guy right here. You can see I turned it away, and there's the pin that it lines up with. So when you take this off, this hairspring will come right out. So it's very tough to do with this microscope in the way. Right in here there's a screw. You can see it there. That's holding the end of the hairspring. So I'm going to take that out of the shot and remove that, or loosen that screw. Come on. Yeah, very close work. Okay. Now if all goes well, which I think it will, I have that screw loosened. The balance should come free. Let's get a good pair of tweezers in this. I'm out of the shot right now. Maybe that screw's not loose enough. Okay. I've been told I have a screw loose, but maybe not loose enough. I'm taking this out of the shot to get in with the loop. Need a better grip on that. Alright, that's loose enough. If that doesn't do it, nothing will. I'm still out of the shot because it's very tight with the loop. Let me turn that over. Very tight work to try to do this with this microscope in the way. Very difficult. I have it turned over. I have that screw loose. Let's see if we can get that out of there. I just poked it through with a heavy gauge oiler. Okay, there we are. Now that is removed, the bridge. I guess you would call that the bridge. And how does that balance staff look? Let's get a focus on that. That balance staff doesn't look too bad. There's one side. That one's a little bit longer, but I think, you know, but we've got quite a bit of wobble on this. Why is it wobbling, and why is it changing so much when you go from dial down to dial up? That's the question. The staff looks consistent end to end. The only other thing I can think of, maybe there's a problem with the jewels on one end or the other. Quite possible. Too much end play. That's a possibility. We're just going to focus back here. The hairspring looks great, nice and concentric and flat. Okay. Here's the bridge for that with its jewel. So what do we have here? Do we have too much clearance? We don't know. It is a mystery that we're going to try to solve for Particle Man. One thing I do want to check is the tightness of those jewel screws. Are they loose or are they tight? Is everything wound in properly? What do we have? So we're taking out of the shot. This is close-up work. Okay. The screws appear to be tight. However, that one screw on the upper end of your screen it's a little banged up, so to speak. It's got some serious wear marks on it, and I cannot get a blade in there right here. I can't get a screwdriver in there deep enough to cut that loose. So what do we do? What's our solution here? I'm going to let the owner figure that out. Maybe that amount of slop is what's considered normal for this. The one thing I do notice, the hairspring isn't exactly, let's see, it looked flat when I looked at it with just the naked eye. But could the hairspring, when it's in this position, be rubbing against the balance, causing that problem? I guess anything is possible. So this is my initial finding so far. I'm not sure where this is going to go or what we're going to do, but I'm going to tinker with this a little bit. I'm going to put everything back together. It looks like there's a little shellac varnish. Is that what they used to hold these together? On that balance right there, that shiny stuff. Yeah, this thing's been glued together. I think somebody tried to do a fix, and that wobble could be that it's not centered on the staff. That's another possibility. I'm trying to get a shot of that hairspring. It's not exactly flat. It's concentric, but it's got a little tilt to it. See that? It's tilting. So maybe that little bit, when you turn it over, dial up, where we have some rubbing going on. I think that's what we have. I think what we have here is a poorly serviced balance and hairspring from previous owner. I don't know the backstory on this, on how this came to be, but if we could scare up a good balance assembly and pop that in, we can do a full service, get this thing running again. So that's what I got so far, so stay tuned.